The Egyptian and Russian presidents witnessed the inauguration of the first reactor unit at the Dabaa nuclear power plant. President El-Sisi says today marks the beginning of Egypt's modern nuclear energy chapter. And President Putin emphasizes that the Egypt-Russia partnership has opened new avenues for advancing technological collaboration. It's 15 Cairo local time. You're watching Qnews. I'm Hani Saif, and these are the news from Egypt. Egyptian President El-Sisi and Russian President Vladimir Putin have jointly inaugurated a major milestone at the Dabaa nuclear power plant, witnessing via video conference the installation of the reactor pressure vessel for the plant's first nuclear unit. The ceremony also included the signing of the nuclear fuel procurement order, marking a crucial step towards the project's operational phase. In parallel, both leaders took part in the formal event to place the containment structure of the first reactor unit, an essential milestone underscoring the deepening strategic cooperation between Cairo and Moscow in the field of peaceful nuclear energy. Egypt's President El-Sisi has expressed deep gratitude to Russian President Vladimir Putin for participating in the ceremony and for Russia's strong commitment to the Dabaa nuclear project. President El-Sisi said Egypt and Russia enjoy a stable strategic partnership and stressed that today marks the beginning of Egypt's modern nuclear energy chapter. The Egyptian president affirmed that the Dabaa project signals Egypt's determination to move forward with full strength, highlighting that cooperation with Russia serves the interests of both peoples. He noted that wise decision-making ensures stable energy supplies and reaffirmed Egypt's priority status in the nuclear energy field, thanking all contributors to the project. Russian President Vladimir Putin has praised Egyptian President El-Sisi for initiating the Dabaa nuclear project, describing the occasion as a moment of great honor and pride. Putin highlighted that the newly inaugurated unit at the Dabaa plant can generate 460 megawatts, contributing an additional 35,000 kilowatts to Egypt's energy output. The Russian president emphasized that the Egypt-Russia partnership has opened new avenues for sharing expertise and advancing technological collaboration. He also expressed deep gratitude to all individuals and teams who contributed to the successful realization of the project, underlining the importance of this milestone in strengthening bilateral cooperation and supporting Egypt's energy security and sustainable development goals. President Vladimir Putin has also warmly welcomed all participants at the special Dabaa nuclear power plant ceremony and highlighted the launch of a new phase aimed at strengthening the plant's nuclear energy capabilities. He emphasized that all achievements at Dabaa were supported personally by Egyptian President El-Sisi. Putin recalled the decades-long strategic partnership between Egypt and Russia, noting Russia's collaboration on numerous national mega-projects. He announced plans to establish a Russian free zone in the Suez Canal economic area and projected an additional 35 billion kilowatts from the Dabaa project. He also highlighted that 100 Egyptian students have studied nuclear energy in Russian universities, congratulating President El-Sisi on Egypt's Nuclear Energy Day. Egypt and Russia mark a historic milestone as President El-Sisi and Putin witnessed the first Dabaa reactor vessel installation, advancing nuclear energy and strategic cooperation.
Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi and Russian President Vladimir Putin witnessed via video conference the installation of reactor pressure vessel for the first nuclear unit of the Dabaa plant, along with the signing of the nuclear fuel procurement order. The Dabaa nuclear power plant, situated in Matruh Governorate, is a strategic national project designed to diversify Egypt's energy mix and provide clean, sustainable electricity with a total capacity of 4,800 megawatts. Comprising 4 advanced reactors, the plant reflects decades of Egypt's effort to introduce peaceful nuclear energy since the early 1950s. Aligned with the country's long-term vision for sustainable development and climate resilience. The project began with a preliminary agreement between Egypt and Russia on 19th of November 2015 to establish the country's first nuclear power plant, followed by the main construction contracts in November 2017, which paved the way for preparatory and construction work. The El Dabaa site on Egypt's northwestern Mediterranean coast was selected in 1983 as one of the most suitable locations nationwide. More than 40 years of technical studies confirmed its readiness for nuclear development. Earlier in March 2019, the Nuclear and Radiological Regulatory Authority granted the site approval permit after extensive reviews, affirming compliance with Egyptian and international safety standards. This milestone highlights the strength of Egyptian-Russian cooperation, reflecting strategic trust and shared ambitions for long-term energy security and sustainable development.
And for more on this, we're joined from Cairo by the journalist and researcher, Mr. Ihab Omar. Mr. Omar, welcome to Q News. In what ways does the launching of the first reactor at the Dabaa signify a milestone for Egypt's nuclear energy journey?
Hello to you and to everyone who's watching. Egypt had issues with the power from 2009 up till 2014, especially during 2013. And so after the 30th of June demonstration, of course, we needed to enhance and upgrade our energy game because we don't want this only for the citizens, but Egypt aimed at and actually has succeeded at being a country that attracts tourists and that even exports energy and so on. And so we needed to start adopting the peaceful nuclear project, and we've seen it happening with Russia, and today we witnessed the first step for Egypt to have a peaceful nuclear reactor that generates electricity for the Egyptian people, and actually this provides us with electricity and energy forever, basically. And in a way we could ensure that the Egyptian people have, and also the industry has, enough electricity for the upcoming years. And also here I need to say, and I need to mention, that this happened with Russia especially, and this one of the deadlines that the West has been trying to put in Egypt's way, but Egypt doesn't follow this policy, and actually they care about national benefit. And so having this reactor and having this kind of energy, and
Yes.
also all the different kinds that Egypt has been adopting, the renewable energy and the green energy, we are actually turning into an energy center in the Middle East and in the region also.
Yes, well, Egypt does have its sustainable development goals and vision for 2030. So what does the Dabaa project do for Egypt's energy stability?
First of all, Egypt ties this to the case of energy that has to do with fuel, because Egypt wants and actually has signed some agreements on having electricity connected with other Arab countries, and also they are aiming to do the same with the countries of Southern Europe. And so having this reactor isn't just beneficial for the energy in Egypt and what the trade and industry needs, but also it will be beneficial and it will be crucial to have Egypt, to establish Egypt as a center for energy. And here we know that Egypt is the center of 3 continents, and so yes, this would be very important to establish Egypt as an energy center. And if we are we're not just talking about fuel, and now and also we are witnessing how important the relationships with Russia is, and Egypt has balanced relationships with all countries: the USA, Britain, the European Union, Russia, and China. Egypt is on good terms and on excellent terms, actually,
Yes.
with all of these great countries, and we have shared benefits with all of these countries.
Well,
and so
Mr.
we
Omar,
don't get
you have to tell us a bit more about the Russian contribution to the successful realization of a Dabaa nuclear plant, the expertise, the Russian expertise. Tell us more about that.
Russia thinks of this project as the project of the century here in Egypt, and that it will be the foundation to many more economic projects, and it will be very important for the nuclear energy in Russia, because and if the project hasn't succeeded like we saw today, then other countries wouldn't have asked Russia to coordinate with them and to work with them on their energy case as well. And we've seen negotiations from Arab and African countries with Russia trying to do the same project with them. And so Egypt has actually enhanced their relationship with Russia and other countries also. And we have seen the importance of the Russian nuclear reactors, and that Russia is coordinating with offering everything that will have this project succeed.
Well, can you elaborate on the importance of the nuclear fuel agreement that has been signed between Egypt and Russia?
Yeah, of course, the timing of this signing is a very important because of the recent events. We've seen Egypt we had a historic visit from President Donald Trump here to Egypt in the Sharm el-Sheikh agreement, and then he also attended the European Egyptian Summit in Brussels. We've seen that Egypt is very stable, and that once we take a step towards the USA and enhancing the relationships with them, then we also need to do the same with Russia. And so yes, Trump attending the agreement here in Egypt, the Sharm el-Sheikh agreement, and then also attending the Egyptian European Summit. We, as I said, after this we needed to also start to enhance the relationships with Russia, and we've seen them discussing details about the Dabaa power plant.
Yes.
And we had the conferences over the internet between President El-Sisi and President Putin, and here they confirmed that the Egyptian-Russian relationship is very strong and very special and will not be affected by any attempts to fade them.
Definitely. From Cairo, that was Mr. Heba Omar, the journalist and researcher. Mr. Omar, thank you for joining us here on Qnews. And that brings us to the end of our news bulletin from Egypt. But before we wrap up, here's a recap of the top stories making the headlines this hour. The Egyptian and Russian presidents witnessed the inauguration of the first reactor unit at the Dabaa nuclear power plant. President El-Sisi says today marks the beginning of Egypt's modern nuclear energy chapter. And President Putin emphasizes that the Egypt-Russia partnership has opened new avenues for advancing technological collaboration. These are all the Egyptian news we have for now, but for more stories and live updates, follow Qnews on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram and TikTok at Qnews EGY. From all of us here, thank you for watching.